Hey friends, it's Alysa Rushton here, helping you create more magic and miracles every single day. And this is your August energy update. Let's talk about the energies for August. By the way, today is 8/8, the Lion's Gate portal. So we're going to talk about the energies for August. We'll talk a little bit about the Lion's Gate portal, and then we'll talk about some tips and takeaways that you can use to work with the energy. So this month, there's the energy of becoming the divine self. There's the energy of reformation, both social and personal reformation. The energy of doing the healing work, even more than you've already been doing. And there's the energy of the cosmic cleanup. And then lastly, the shutdown energies. So let's talk about these each individually. Now, before we get started, in August, there's a group of you right now that are going to be traveling. And if you're traveling right now, or if you're going to be traveling in the next few days to a week, pay special attention to this piece of the message. There is a cosmic cleanup going on right now, both interpersonally and in the cosmos. And so if you're traveling right now, here's what's happening for you. There's a bit of energy to clean up. Now, what's interesting about this energy is it's a personal energy that you've been running within yourself. So it's not necessarily, I'm not talking about cleaning up physical spaces and places. It's not really about that, although you might be cleaning up physical spaces and places. But really what you'll find when you're traveling this next week is that there's this energy that's been running through your energy system that's been stopping you or blocking you from truly being aligned with generating the vibration that can get you what you want. So this next week, as you are traveling, really pay close attention to any energetics that come up. So that's really for you. If you're traveling this week, it's that cosmic cleanup of the energy, the vibration that's been blocking you, stopping you from truly being on your highest timeline that you would prefer. Now, for others of you who are not traveling this week, there's this place where you're still cleaning that piece up for yourself too. You're in that alignment place of possibly just holding space, holding the vibration for both yourself and others. So if you don't happen to be traveling this week, it's more so about for you really holding the energy of what you would want for others. So holding that vibration. Now, many of you who are not traveling this week have been doing, let's face it, all of you have been doing massive interpersonal work. But for those of you who aren't traveling, probably this last 2 weeks has been really intense with the amount of personal excavation that you've been doing. So it's kind of like you came through the excavation cycle in just a different wave. And then there's these folks over here that are going to be traveling this week that now are going through their wave. So you're sort of holding this space for the people who are going through this next wave of the excavation cycle, if you will. And for you who just came through it, now's the time to rebalance your systems, to really realign and recalibrate with the new frequency of you so that you're more stronger in that energy system. And think about it like this. If you were a plant and you just got potted in new soil, you wouldn't want to do much to the plant. You kind of want to just let that plant sit and readjust to its new environment. So that's for you who are not traveling this week, that you've just been through doing all this interpersonal work. You're kind of like that plant who's going to just settle in their new environment and get stabilized and ground down those roots. So that's what's happening, this cosmic cleanup of energetics that have been stopping you. And when I say energetics, what I mean is frequencies that you've been running through your personal system, maybe of frustration, maybe frequencies of lack, maybe frequencies of being unsure or uncertain. Maybe it's frequencies that have to do with food, or maybe it's frequencies that have to do with your physical body and your health. Maybe it's frequencies in your relationships where you've been looking at somebody in a certain way that really isn't them at all. It's just the filter that you've had over your eyes. So all of this is being asked to clean up. And what you're really being asked to see is everybody, including yourself, as the divine, as you. Now, this is the second energy that's coming on strong for August, September, and the rest of the year. So, my background is I grew up in the Christian church. And in Christianity, we heard the second coming. And really, if you look at what that is, it's the second coming of you, the divine as you knowing yourself as the divine creator, you waking up beyond the ego self, beyond the space of your ego driving aspects of your life, driving what success is, and thinking you have to figure it out all in your head. And instead, it's you waking up to this larger, more beautiful aspect of you, that you are the divine creator of your life, and that you are the setter of energy in your vortex. So one thing that you can do is you can start to work with your beautiful energy as if you would an actual vortex. So have you ever been to a vortex where you just feel differently? It's this beautiful energy spot. Maybe it's a mountain lake, or maybe it's someplace in Sedona or the mountains or by the sea, and you feel differently. You feel at peace, you feel tranquil, you feel more connected. So what I want to remind you of is that you are the vortex. You can set your own vortex. And you are the divine creator. And so you can ask for these beautiful energies to come in and for you to hold that energy. And that when people come into your vortex, however big or small you want to make it, they feel the energies that you are asking for to run through your system. They feel the energies of joy, of peace, of love, of abundance, of healing, whatever those energies are. Remember that you are the divine creator of your energy, and that the more expanded you are in your energy field, and the more expanded you are in the knowing that you can set up your energy field, the more you can change the world, the more silent impact you can create. And when I mean silent impact, I mean not having to verbally say things to people. And this is key because right now is a time of reformation. So getting onto the other energies for this month, reformation's happening. Social reformation, personal reformation, reformation in our school systems, in our financial systems, this massive reform. And when we get into a reformation energy and reforming something or retooling it, reknowing it, what can happen is lots of ego opinions can come up about how things should be. Now, in the past, we have created things based on our ego selves. We've created things based on a very linear scale of here's what's right, here's what's wrong, here's what we think should happen. So now is the time when you have to actually do less speaking and more energetic work. Now is the time when you can simply hold an energy and never say a word and have everything around you shift. In fact, I was speaking to a client this morning and she shared with me how out of the blue, she had changed her energy and then everything around her started to shift. And her comment to me was, Alysa, it was so fast. I had no idea it could happen this fast and everything around me could just transform. And so that's what I want to remind you of as we go through this reformation. It's less convincing energy. It's less you trying to convince people of what's right and what's wrong, and you simply holding the frequencies, holding love, holding joy, holding ease, holding peace. And as you do that, as you are waking up to the divine as you help other people entrain to that. And the goal is really having the whole globe remember that we are all parts of the divine and seeing each other as pieces of the divine. I once heard Wayne Dyer say that if you have a peach pie and you cut off a slice of peach pie, it's still always going to be peach pie. And so for you, remembering that the divine, the peach pie, you get cut off from that, you're still peach pie, no matter what you do. And so is everybody else, even when they are not acting in a way that feels in alignment with their divine self. So here's some tips and takeaways for this month. As we are going through this kind of more global shutdown energy, this global reformation energy, one of the things that you can really do is you can hold the energy of seeing your fellow human beings as the divine, as themselves. Really not holding anybody in separation. Even if they're behaving horribly, that's the secret key, is seeing them in their highest self. Maybe it's in a relationship, taking off the filter of how you've been seeing this person and seeing them as the divine, reminding yourself that everybody is divine. And as you entrain to that yourself, you help others entrain to that energy as well. Remember that as we go through this month, it's very strong, potent energy. It's the lion. So if you think about the lion, how strong the lion is, that's the strength of the energy. So I just want to remind you to do what you can this month to replenish yourself. If you're feeling fatigued, take time to resyncopate with nature. Go outside, take a blanket, lay in the grass, go for a swim, go for a hike, go for a walk. This is the time to get out of your head and into your heart. This is the time to re-know yourself. Look at the ego, see where the ego has been driving, and then see yourself as operating from the divine aspects of you. For those of you who are trying to manifest things right now, really ask yourself, are you manifesting from the ego self, or are you manifesting as the divine through you? And for those of you who are feeling some of that shutdown energy, some of that energy of reformation and social unrest, really realizing and remembering that right now is the time when you can shift more with your nonverbal energy. The energy that you're holding and that you're projecting onto your fellows is actually more powerful than any verbal argument or verbal engagement that you could get into. And when you remind yourself of that, when you remind yourself to step out of the ego and back into your divine self, you will see significant and lightning quick shifts. So I'd love to know the energy that you're feeling for August. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you for showing up and doing the work, because as you do this work, you help others grow and expand and pop. This is the time we're popping, so keep on popping. I love you and bye for now.